wrongly because the evidence or the witnesses are weak. The same thing can be applied to you. How many police officers can provide 50,000 fine? 1 million. Who was there for the police when they are making this law?
Hello, let's have one for. Let's have one for. The thing is, you know, hello, when you prove to the stubborn, they will ensure that they put something, some measures to deal with stubborn individuals. This is stubborn. The law that empowers you to be in uniform, to arrest people from their families and detain them. That's a big power.
Very big.
That same law is telling you, do not torture. When you are proceeding with criminals, deal with them in so and so manner. But you say, no, I want a shortcut. I want to punish them. I want to humiliate them so that I feel big. You are doing it on your own. So the law cannot protect you. That is why the punishment is so severe. But again, we must always remember, in order for it to amount to torture, we say severe pain or suffering. That has been inflicted. When we say severe pain and suffering, it means it is definitely severe. Under what circumstance will you subject an accused person who is already in your custody to severe pain and suffering? He's already in your custody. You want to tell me that you should be allowed to torture? You already arrested him. You're moving him to this cell. Perhaps maybe he's feeling pain in his leg and he's not walking properly. He's not walking as fast as you want. You started hitting him with a baton. You think we should let that go as easy as it is? No. It means that individual is so strong and does not regard authority. As a result, there are so severe punishments. This reminds me of one thing. As police officers, we will always be asked to take an oath. And in the oath, we say we will be loyal to the president of the day. And that we will respect and abide by all laws, enforce all laws without fear or favor. Our National Assembly came up with this law. I know you will have the copies later. You will see the copies. When our National Assembly came up with the law, they passed it, they put it down to our president, Adam Abad. You will see his signature there. He sat down with his team of lawyers. They discussed about it, and they thought about all these fines. And they came to a conclusion that, of course, anybody who commits torture has disrespected us. And so, we will not be merciful. We will give you 1 million fine for 15 days. Mr. Adam Okaro signed. I am not trying to dramatize this thing. He signed it. Now, if our oath is anything to go by, we say we will respect him, we will be loyal to him. Loyalty to him means to respect his authority. And his authority is, my policy in the Gambia, torture is out. Let us respect our president. Not torture, huh? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Indeed, when an officer is being assaulted, we never count it as torture, but it's still assault. You know, there is no equality there. And in the...
Let's have one forum. He's raising a very important point.
And in the core principles of human rights, you said equality and non-discriminatory. They said that.
Listen. You know, when we say, what he's asking, what about when
an officer is being
assaulted?
The
question now is, that assault that was occasioned against an officer, was it amount to torture? Let us be fair to one another. Sometimes, yes. If it amounts to torture, of course it is.
It will be torture.
I think in one of the incidents, police officers were caught and they were beaten severely. That could amount to torture. So it says any person. It does not say if it is against the police, it will not be torture. So if you go on an operation, for one reason or the other, your colleagues leave you behind, and you are caught and tortured. It is still torture. It does not mean that when it is committed against the police, you will say, go on your own.
No.
When it is committed by the police against the civilian, we say, now it's torture. No, that is always fairness. So I think that's that. Let's go.
No, sir. Now, I also have a question now.
Yeah.
And also a contribution. Now, if this torture thing is now being applied to somebody, the force of contact to complain, or the people that are responsible to put on this fine or these charges will be the police or a special body?
The police, under section 12, we will get there. You can go to the police, you can go to the National Human Rights Commission, or...
Now, doing your work or on arresting, now let's focus now to PIU now. Most of the time we are moving to the charge of these people. Now, to the PIU, most of them, they are out there in riot, square riot, and also to help charge of this to do arresting.
Yeah.
Now, you arrest somebody, for example, what he has been saying that I wouldn't go or I wouldn't move.
Yeah.
Now you have to keep begging.
No, you don't need to beg.
No, I'm coming. You have to keep begging. Now, me, I know that maybe for a judge, he cannot arrest me if he is a man. I'm more powerful and more
Yes.
Maybe even two individuals, two men. It will be very difficult for them to carry me.
Oh, yes.
So now, in that scramble, that guy may sustain injury. Now, at the end now, he may have also a very vital point, saying that 2 or 3 or 4 officers arrested him, or were trying to drag him. Now, he may have a point to escape, to put on those officers. And when those officers were just trying to get him moved.
It all depends on the circumstances, and as I say, investigation will always take place. A hefty man, a police officer, a woman, for example, as you put it, came in and said, sir, you are under arrest. I'm not going. That can amount to resisting police arrest, which is a charge of its own. So the law is always by our side. It is just that we don't want to apply the law. Instead, we want to use the back way. The law is always there for you. If you have to use reasonable force to subject him to arrest, and he sustains injury, all of a sudden he turned around and said, I was tortured. There will be investigation. And the investigation must reveal 3 elements. We already discussed them. Severe pain or suffering was inflicted on him by a police officer, public officer. And it was done purposely. What? To intimidate or coerce him, to punish him, or to obtain information or confession. If these 3 elements do not fit in, will it amount to torture?
No.
It will not be torture. And again, as I said, investigation will be done. The investigation will reveal that, in fact, they came in to arrest him and he refused. More officers were calling, they used reasonable force. Along the line, he was trying to force his hand out of the handcuff and he sustained injuries. So, there was no force. That's that.
Yeah, they have to be the corporal policeman.
Direct?
Corporal policeman from the magistrate.
The problem with that is when we encourage that, when the tables turn, we will suffer. One day we will not be police officers.
We know that torture cannot be justified. We cannot justify it. But we are just trying to discuss. Because if we don't discuss, the topic will be meaningless. But some of the time, it plays a very good impact in society. Because most of the people were changed or they stopped what they were doing because of most of the things that not directly between them. Most of the things that they undergo, because now they know that fear is there. So let me stop it. But now you are taken to the magistrate. Sometimes the magistrate will say, police, why don't you suffer at your own?
Well, magistrates wouldn't say, because if they say, will they not encourage? But let's go. I think we don't have much time.
Of those recent we have seen on TikTok, mob justice. Sometimes if they catch a thief, they will pour water on you, torture you. Before there was not this act. We all understand. We only charge them for what? Assault. But now, if that thing should happen, I think we go straight to attack them for torture.
Yes.
It is not for because that is torture. That amount to torture. They tied you, your hands and everything, they beaten you to confess. The purpose there is for you to confess or to give them information or to punish you. So that amount to torture.
I saw one similar to what you have just explained. In Sani, a boy was caught and tied to a pole. It was beaten severe. Water poured on him. That amounts to torture. Police could have just moved it, investigate who are those involved in that torture. And they arrest them, charge them with torture and take it to court. Maybe they'll be the first person to be charged on this.
Also, the problem here is...
So it's not just for the police, it's not just against the police. Are we on the same page on that?
Some of these criminals here know that if you get them to investigate certain things, they will refuse to give you information. And they'll be telling you, like, because I worked on, in an enforcement unit, and they'll be telling you, boy, Alitaria 72 hours away, Bangalia more bail.
Exactly.
And they will not give you any information.
Yes.
After the 72 hours, yes. After the 72 hours, you release them and they are gone. So at some point, the complainants will be frustrated, and this is what is bringing this mob justice sometimes. So it's frustrating. It's not easy to get information from an accused person.
It's because we are failing as police officers. Why so? My office, we have investigated commissioners. We have investigated corporate species. One forum, please. Hello. One forum, please. We've never even, in other words, in my office, we don't even think of torture. But we investigate these people and we elicit evidence against them. And we got them to pay the price. If you are not a lazy officer, if you are not a lazy investigator, you don't need the accused person to give you any information. You don't need it. Of course, if he gives you, it's a plus, it's a bonus. But it does not mean that he must give. I say find the evidence, I don't mean concoct. Find the evidence. If you can pin him with that evidence without his confession, that's that. If you cannot, there is no law that says you must force it. He said when you beat somebody, when you subject somebody to severe pain and suffering, with a view or for the purpose of him giving you information, it becomes trouble. We said it was our president, our commander-in-chief that signed that law. Let us respect him and say no to it. Because when we are investigating, you are the one who has stolen the mobile. He says, I reserve my opinion in the court. Who gave you that information that he was the one that stole? Speak to that person. Are there witnesses that say that could attest to the fact that he stole the mobile? Yes. Denver is there, party is there, maybe 10 people were there. They all attest.
Cell. Book it in the diary, check, and the prisoner said he's not going into the station or into the cell. Book it. Yes. Book everything. You need people, 1, 2 people. This is not a torture. They will just hold him, place him into the cell. No torture. That is not torture. So it should not make us relax or to fold our hands. The same law will protect us. Today we are in uniform, tomorrow we are the same civilians, and the same law will protect us. Remember, it's transitional justice. We all heard from TRRC the type of torture method on people. You know, nylon boots, they put in cigarette on you, different kind of torture, and these are not these things are touching, yeah? So when we're talking about torture, we mean this type of torture, and we want no torture at all. So it's an opportunity today. We are exposed to these things. I think that's just my contribution, so that we all understand and know the tool there is for all of us.
I wanted to say one thing before we leave. In the example he has given, he is arrested. First of all, he is accused of having committed a crime. He is arrested. And the police says, he says he's not going into the cells. Will you say, the law says no torture, so okay, go ahead. No one is telling you when he resists, you should fold your hands and say go. We are not saying that. All we say is you must not torture. And we say torture means severe pain or suffering that is inflicted on a person. It can be physical, it can be mental. And this severe pain or suffering is inflicted by a public official, you police officer or private individual, for a purpose of obtaining confession or information, intimidating or coercing him, or to punish him. If you are forcing him into the cell, are you punishing him? No. Are you forcing him to obtain information? No. Are you inflicting severe pain on him? Yes or no? There could be yes, because he says, I'm not going into the cell, and you started hitting him with something, forcing him with severe pain. As he said, maybe two of you, one can hold the hand, the other hold the leg, and put him in. In that, it's not severe pain inflicted. But if you say because he refused and start kicking him because you think you are Jackie Chan, that can be severe pain or suffering inflicted on you. So care must be taken here. Your intention matters, and we can see through what your intention is. If your intention is to punish him, we can tell. Investigation will reveal. But if it is just to make sure that you secure him inside the cells, that cannot be torture. That will not be torture. Thank you.
Prosecute people that are not Gambian citizens. The concern of the Attorney General.
Yeah, because you know some of these things you cannot do it all alone.
Okay.
Let's assume that the person is a Sierra Leonean and his God is in Sierra Leone. It will not be easy for you to get him extradited from Senegal, Sierra Leone to the Gambia without the involvement of the authorities. So in this case, the minister has to take the lead, and according to the act, the minister is referring to the AG. That's why I didn't bother to put the word minister, I just put AG, so that we know who we're talking about. Because when you say the minister, people will start questioning, which minister? So I made it simpler for us. That's why we use the word Attorney General.
I'm not talking about in the event of trying to extradite the person. But I'm seeing somewhere in the same act that is talking about, in the event of non-citizen, you need the consent of the AG chambers for you to try them.
Which section?
Is Section 20. Consent of the Attorney General regarding prosecution of non-citizens.
Can you read that section? I don't.
A person who is not a citizen of the Gambia shall not be prosecuted for an offense under this act except with the consent of the Attorney General.
Go for it.
It's right.
That's it.
Yes. Section 20 of the same act.
But it's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. Those of us who have been in the prosecution department, we knew that there are some offences which you cannot prosecute without the consent of the AG. For example, seditious intention. Under the repealed criminal code, before you charge someone with seditious intention, you have to seek the consent of the AG.
I know about it.
So maybe that is one of the reasons, but I don't understand why it's specific. What I thought is the rationale behind it. If the individual, for example, is in Senegal, you need, for example, if you leave the jurisdiction, you need the state to be able to do it. But this one is talking about the prosecution. It means you need the consent of the AG. And as I said, it's not a new thing. When you look at the repealed criminal code, I hope you all understand that our criminal code section 2524F is no longer a law, it's repealed, it's thrown away. That is a new law. Under that law, wherever you see police charge individuals with seditious intention, for example, Yankubadabo was charged, we always write to the AG to say, sir, we want to prosecute, and they will say, go ahead. In the case of theft, section 252, we never were required to seek his consent. But for these ones, we always, I don't know why, I don't know the rationale, but you always have to. In this case also, before the police can prosecute, the law says we have to seek the AG's blessing.
Now let that be an assignment for all of us.
No, I don't think it needs to be an assignment because we've been doing it.
But it's really confusing. It seems to be incomplete. You know, those of us who are not legally minded much, and likewise yourself,
what is your main problem with it?
My main problem here is like
perhaps it is meant to ensure that there is no abuse. Because when you send a request to the AG that we wanted to prosecute Mr. X, whether he's a police officer or a civilian, you have to give reasons why you want to prosecute. There has to be substantial evidence to show that in fact torture has taken place. If the AG, after reviewing the file, realize that there is no evidence, he can write to say no, there is no evidence, don't prosecute.
Yeah, that is for a legal opinion. In the case of a capital offense.
No, it's not legal opinion. There is a difference between seeking legal opinion.
It's only talking about non-Gambian.
Yeah, but come on, this point is talking about a non-Gambian.
Only a non-Gambian. If you are to a non-Gambian alleged of this crime before prosecuted, we need the consent of the age. It's one section.
I would say maybe because of international, issues, things have to be clarified very well. Of that
In order for us to know the exact reason, maybe we have to go to Parliament's preparation towards coming up with the act. Because they always have notes.
So now it becomes an assignment.
You get back to research.
No, but for me, it's not relevant. For me, it's not relevant for us to go and look at the preparatory works of the Parliament as to why they come up with this law. My belief is, one, is to ensure that there is no abuse. Abuse in the sense that if you say you want to prosecute Demba from Senegal, show me proof that Demba should in fact be prosecuted. If there is evidence that Demba, a Senegalese, should be prosecuted, the AG will now give his consent. If the AG feels that you are abusing a Senegalese, he can say, Mr. Police Officer, no consent.
I think it may somehow align or even extradition, where a Senegalese may have committed an alleged crime in Senegal. Sometimes the sending party, that is Gambia, sending there, even though there is that treaty, will always write or say whether he or she will have fair trial. That one also sometimes they do that.
No, I think it's different. This one is specifically asking, why should we have to ask the AG to give us consent?
Exactly. So it's
Yeah,
non-citizens.
for non-citizens.
Because I think it should apply to even citizens. If
you want to know the reason or the rationale for everything, that means we have to call Parliament to come and tell us from section 1
But yeah,
to
it's confusing all
25.
of us.
No, this is not confusing. I don't think it should be confusing.
You are
The law is the law, and the law is telling you if you are prosecuting someone for torture and the person is a Senegalese, a British, whatever nationality he or she, as far as he is not a Gambian, before you go to court, first of all, respectfully ask the permission of the AG. I think it's simple as...
That one question was the rationale behind that, whether it is based on the international convention or whatsoever.
I don't
At
think
least
so.
the Parliament could have said A, B, or C, or when they were finalizing the law.
Let's assume that the person is in the country. You know when he's outside of the country, obviously you know you need the authorities to get him. But if he's already in the country, he's already arrested.
Outside the country, it's only Gambian you can extradite back.
Yeah.
So if there are non-citizens outside the Gambia, you need a different channel to be there. So I'm not talking about that aspect. When they are outside, they are non-citizens, we're going to bring them back. But we are talking
But
about...
he's already in the country.
Yes.
You arrested him, he's before you. The law is saying before you take him to court, seek the consent of the agent.
No problem.
It's as simple as don't.
No, it has to be evidence based.
It's not new, yes.
So I think the AG would have appreciated on some evidence.
Also, you need this
consent of the AG
Yes.
before they are prosecuted.
Where somebody is driving reckless,
reckless,
that's negligent and causing death. Under the repeal criminal code, when we are prosecuting, we also have to write to the AG, and the AG will give us go ahead.
Even under the 2025, there are so many of them judgments.
Okay, but do we know the rationale behind that? We don't know, and why are we bothered about this one? As I said, it may be because they want to control that. I don't know why.
Normally, the sensitive gravity of the offense.
No, we're going to another
Basil Balde. My name is Ibrahim Basil. What I have understood from this lectures, that human right is the language we use to express our needs our goal and what we believe as our entitlement. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone else? Clap for environment. 2 more. And please, I want the female to show yourself. Otherwise, Commissioner would IGP will not be happy. Like you don't care.
I tried.
Yes, please. Your name?
Yes, my name, Lavin S.M. Babo, Inspector. From today's session, we learned that human rights are our God-given rights. We come to life with it. These are inherited rights. And as police officers or men in uniform, we understand that these rights are to be protected and to be preserved at all costs. People should be able to enjoy their human rights without restriction, except in certain situations. So, in a nutshell, this is what I've learned today, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Inspector, your name?
Yes, I really appreciate this lecture. Human rights is what? Human rights is everything in terms of humanity. Thank you.
I'm Corporal Fadiboja. What I learned from today's session is about the promotion of human rights and then the enforcement of it within the law enforcement. And then whoever violates human rights should be dealt with accordingly. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate your time and collaboration. And so, as your slide is ready.
I have a question.
Human Rights and Cultural Festival. I remember when I said we're going to do a Human Rights Festival. People say, can you celebrate human rights in the Gambia? I said, yeah. We can celebrate human rights in the Gambia. And we have a dispensation now where we are celebrating. So it started small, but this is the 3rd year since the Anti-Torture Act came into place. And so every year we have an edition. And so it aligns with the International Day in support of victims of torture. Right? So let's celebrate human rights. And that's what we do with the festival. So you're all invited to some of the activities. 16 to 19, this training program. Then we have stakeholders engagement. People from the police are also coming and other entities. And then we have what is open to all of you to come, the Wellness and Cultural Day at Friendship Hostel in Bakau on the 29th. Come with your families if you're not on duty. Enjoy with us. Let's celebrate together. Okay? Yes. Let's celebrate human rights today and every day. All right? Thank you.